So I mean, it just for me, I kind of see that stuff as interesting that they did they did have somewhat some kind of influence on this stuff. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they were just in the backgrounds and stuff and not not being a part of it. But then like now all of a sudden years later they're like we're wanting to get rid of it and because it's going to cause violence and stuff. Well, you're the ones that helped create this stuff. You know what I mean? That's what really stands out to me. They're suggesting that now in the United States, saying that people shouldn't play for more than 2 or 3 hours, and which I mean, don't get me wrong, you shouldn't be like overly doing it on video games, especially if you're a kid. You know what I mean? But I find suggestions kind of suspicious. Let me just put it that way. Well, see, that's that gets you into the area that I like to call linear games, and then freaking games that are open world and stuff like that. Now, like linear games to me is that kind of game like you're talking about, where you had to solve the puzzle to make it to the next level. And there was no shortcuts. There was no way around it. You had to solve this in order, or do this in order to get to this point. Now, see, I think Donkey Kong is where that, for me personally, I believe that's where it was the game changer for me. Like you couldn't go back, like you said, but then like in Donkey Kong Jr., I think it was, where you could pick them up and throw them. He'd start out with you, and then you could pick them up and throw them at people. But you could actually do that. Well, I actually played the old ones too. Like these, for my generation, these were the new ones. These are like retro now to a lot of the younger people. But like, I'm talking about like the one where he's actually going around like Sonic the Hedgehog and all them. But now I want to ask you guys about one thing though. What did you guys ever play uh, multi-online role-playing games? Oh my God! Look, you're starting to sound like Tan. You're starting to sound, yeah, no, no, no. You, that's a Tan High Tran thing. Him and Rhea are always ambushing me about. Oh, you need to come on and play chess. I'm like, dude, I suck at chess. I suck at it. People will laugh at me. Okay, have you guys ever heard of Ultima Online? What about you, Dave? Have you ever played it? Well, I mean, you know that it's not like modern online gaming, right? Just I want to make that clear. Okay, just so every because you see we're older than a lot of people that are into gaming these days, so like that's new for us. Yeah. So and I've never played Ultima Online either. I might have to check it out. Now, have you ever played EverQuest? That's amazing to me because like everybody that I've ever talked to has played that game at least once. So you two are like the first ones I've ever met who hasn't played EverQuest. And I'll tell you right now, I really didn't like it. Just to be fair, I really didn't like EverQuest. It was like one of those horrible games where you get stuck in the walls, and like any game where you go and you get stuck in a wall or in the side of a mountain, it just pisses me off. I always had a problem with that. And if that happened to me, I might let it slide once if I really like the game. But after that, I'm not playing those games. Um, it always irritated me when it did stuff like that. And they said that they've gotten better in the new modern versions, but it's a horrible, horrible game. So these games fostered vibrant online communities, establishing the MMO genre as a cornerstone of internet gaming. Now EverQuest, but I don't know for sure if I've ever played Ultima Online at all. So I may have, but it's been so long I couldn't tell you. My biggest problem with EverQuest was how it was glitchy. You know, there was times where if you went into caves or you turned around in a corner, you got stuck. There was even times I remember where I would fall into the ground and I couldn't get up. And if you didn't save, that means you got screwed. You had to start all over from where your last save was. And that really kind of bugged me a bit. So, let me see here. Now after that, I also want to start talking about LAN parties and the social aspects. Now, during this period, also LAN, which is local area network parties, became a cultural phenomenon. Enthusiasts gathered to connect their computers and compete in games like StarCraft and Counter-Strike. Although technically offline, these gatherings underscored the social potential of gaming, foreshadowing the community-driven focus on modern internet gaming. Now, with me on that, I have to say that Command and Conquer was the game for me when it came to playing these kind of games. I never got into StarCraft as much as what everybody else has. In Counter-Strike, I believe I tried it a few times, but those were really fuzzy days for me back whenever I was younger. I do remember Command and Conquer, though. That was the game that I really was into. I enjoyed that one. What was it, Red Dawn or something like that? Not Red Dawn. It was Red versus Gold. I know that much. But anyhow, I did enjoy that game, and I believe you can get that on Steam too. Again, now I am not positive, but I can go check. But I believe that it is available on Steam right now, and I don't know for sure how much it is, but I can go check real quick. Let me see here. Yeah, let me go check real quick. Yeah, come on. There we go. Red and Green. You can get it on here. They're usually about 1988, so that is the going price of them so far. I don't think they have anything that's free online for it, so that is, yeah, and there's no discounts on them I don't see so far, so that's and they usually go right now about $7.99, I believe. Yep. Or no, $5.99 a month is what they have for the internet one. Command and Conquer and Covert Operations. You can play with EA Play for $5.99 a month, or you can buy the bundle for $19.88. So that's pretty cool. And I believe that they also have, well, I better get off of here and move on, I guess, to, no, I could have stuck to it because I wanted to go back through, well, actually, I wanted to keep on moving because, like, now I'm wanting to get into when the console gaming goes online. In the early experiments the Sega Dreamcast launched in 1999. Now, you said you played the offline Ultima. What was your experience with that? You was drinking, you was drinking and freaking partying in your underwear with all your buddies, is what it was. I know about you college students that freaking go into computer science. You guys are, you're rebels. I bet you anything that's what he was doing. He was drinking beer and his buddies were like taking dives off the balcony into the swimming pool. Because that's what they did back then. Well, I mean, I shouldn't be stereotyping because I keep forgetting that you're in England too. So, because like you guys like always were more civilized than we were here in the United States. With that being said, let's move on to the LAN parties and the social aspect. Okay. Now, the local area networks, the LAN. Okay, that became a cultural phenomenon according to what I've pulled together. Now, they said that enthusiasts gathered to connect their computers and compete in games like StarCraft and Counter-Strike. Have you guys played StarCraft or Counter-Strike? Now, StarCraft, I know, has their own actual role-playing game too. I've mentioned this on another show, but you didn't want me to be at any kind of role-playing game party drinking, okay? Because crazy shit happened. Like I would be in my underwear acting like a caveman, drunk in a blackout. You know, and any good game master knows that you don't allow people to get drunk while you're a DM. And you don't allow well, you can let them do drugs, but they have to be like hallucinogenics. They can't be like pot. You know what I mean? Because people get lazy when they're high on pot. Those are like two general rules: no pot, no alcohol. You can do LSD if you want to, do shrooms and stuff, because that just makes you even cooler. And usually it was only dudes that showed up to these parties, so there was no X allowed. Didn't want some freaking straight dude freaking taking X and getting horny over other dudes. You know what I'm saying? That's a no-no. Well, I mean, I was always, the whole marijuana thing was debatable. You know what I'm saying? Because for me it was, because like when you get people. But the drinking though, the drinking when you did role playing games, that's a no no. You know what I mean? Because crazy shit happens. Yeah. Well, I'm talking about role playing games though. Role playing games is different. That's not like this. Now you gotta admit that. Oh, that's true. And besides, with you, you're like freaking the human calculator. Like I don't think Pac could have. Well, I should call you the human quantum computer then. He does that sometimes. Like he'll. That's right. See that's right. But that's why. I'm glad you did that, because you just kind of helped explain what I said there by you being like the human quantum computer. You know what I mean? You're capable of doing that stuff. Well, let me kind of explain this to you, okay? Whenever I freaking look at millibytes, I think that freaking once it hits one, well, millibytes, megabytes, whatever. When it goes when it goes up, like when a millibyte goes up to freaking a megabyte, but when it hits 1,000, it should be megabyte. You see what I'm saying? No, it should. I'm just telling you the way I feel.